Thad's three things for the Bills and the Bengals. This is going to be an unbelievable game. This is one of the things that I enjoy covering with this team is that a couple times a year now, you get to be ringside for one of the elite NFL regular season games. Number one for the Bills in this game, I know the shine is going to be on the new guys defensively, but if you're looking for impact defensively, something that will significantly change where the defense has been the last few weeks, my eyeballs are on Von Miller. I don't think it's fair to expect Linval Joseph and especially Rasul Douglas to be fully versed in everything they have to do defensively after only a couple days in the defense. I mean, especially for Douglas, the McDermott scheme is somewhat complicated, but certainly communication based. It's a zone concept. Everybody's got to know where everybody else is. I think Douglas will be good and helpful, but to be up to speed where you need him to be, that might be 2, 3, 4 weeks away. And I don't think especially it happens after 3 days. Joseph might still be fine. I mean, his job is going to be occupy space. He can do that no matter the style of defense. Although the Bills' one gap scheme is different than what the Eagles did with Joseph last year in a 2-gap scheme. End of the day, if Von Miller can take that leap, and I think there's reason to believe it could happen, he did look noticeably better against Tampa Bay. Not consistently, but there were multiple reps where you saw some burst, you saw some strength. And now, for the first time since he's been back, he's had extra rest between games. Hasn't been, a night game into a trip to London into those kind of things. So maybe this is the week where you see more of what everyone expects from Miller. I don't know if he'll ever be all season 100% of the guy the Bills saw the first 6-7 weeks last year, first half of the season last year. But if you get a big jump, that might go a long way towards making everyone's job easier. Now, Ed Oliver doesn't have to be the only pass rush. The ends on the other side get less attention. The guys in the back seven who are still figuring out their jobs, especially if Douglas plays a lot and if Jordan Poyer plays linebacker a lot, those guys who are still figuring out how to operate in those spots don't have to do it as long. So game changer defensively, at least for this week, not Joseph or Douglas. That might happen down the road. For this week, it's Von Miller. Number two, how much of the offense is going to carry over from what we saw Thursday to this game? I have serious doubts. I've talked a couple times on RochesterFirst.com about how I think a lot of what the Bills did right offensively was Tampa Bay making big mistakes. Doesn't mean the Bills didn't do anything successfully, and it doesn't mean that they can't carry a good chunk of that from Thursday into this next game. Number one, going up tempo, I think, is almost a lock for the Bills in this game. Maybe not the whole game. They didn't do it the whole game against Tampa, but certainly where possible. Cincinnati has an elite defensive coordinator in Lou Anarumo. Bills fans remember when Brian Daboll didn't get the Chargers job. He came back to Buffalo for a year, and it felt like you were stealing a year with a great quarterback or a great coordinator who belonged in a head coaching spot. Well, that's what the Bengals have with Anarumo right now. If the Bills go up tempo, it can help potentially simplify what the Bengals have to do defensively, and you negate maybe some of that genius that Anarumo has. On top of that, I want to see Dalton Kincaid continue to be involved. You saw the athleticism. If there's anybody on this offense that has a chance to be, again, a season or game changer beyond what we've already seen, it's Kincaid. Gabe Davis is talented, but I think we know what we're going to get in Gabe Davis. So Kincaid getting more touches, more targets, certainly in the game plan. And then again, Josh Allen being able to make the quick decisions. That's what made this offense go early this year, what made it go for a long time against Tampa Bay. If you can get open looks quickly, get Josh Allen into the rhythm. I don't totally buy into the rhythm idea, but the Bills do. So if these players believe that getting the ball moving, getting that first down, getting a rhythm going is that important, then I think obviously it should be a priority for this team. So how much of what they did successfully Thursday night carries over will be a big deal, because if this offense goes back to what we saw against the Patriots and the Giants, they've got no shot against Cincinnati. Number three, the Bills have to survive this game early. Bengals, 6 of the last 7 wins, have scored on each of their first 2 possessions, and at least one of those is a touchdown. So they have 10 or 14 points after their first 2 touches of the ball. Now, it doesn't have to be the Bills, playing defense and shutting them down. It can be just keep up points-wise. But you remember what happened in the playoff game last year. Since he went touchdown, and then the rest of the day, Buffalo's just chasing the game. Last couple weeks for the Bengals against the Seahawks and the Niners, it kind of felt like Cincinnati took control early and then just kind of leaned on the game the rest of the way there. They didn't look great offensively second, third quarter, couple scores late against the Niners to put that away. But this was a team that got in front and then were allowed to dictate the contest. The Bills can't let that happen. like I said, this is going to be an amazing game. I mean, this is, great quarterback against great quarterback, very good coaching against very good coaching. Both teams have a nice array of weapons. I think I like Cincinnati's a little bit better. Both teams have pieces on defense. I think top to bottom, I like Buffalo's, but you can make a good case either way. I think this game comes down to the fact that Cincinnati's got a little more talented roster. I think the Bengals, when they have the ball with their three excellent receivers, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, they create matchup nightmares for everybody, Buffalo included. Again, I don't know how well or how up to speed Rasul Douglas will be to be able to combat that. But no matter what, whether it's Dane Jackson or Christian Benford, there's going to be a spot where Cincinnati looks across and says, we have a matchup advantage. The Bengals have been running it a little better too. Joseph will help there. But, Joseph last season, when he joined the Eagles, Philly was having trouble stopping the run. And after Joseph got there, they still kind of had trouble stopping the run. It was only a little bit better. So the Bengals are doing a lot right now. Like I said, they're well coached. Anarumo might be the best coordinator in the game, either team. So the Bengals have a little bit better roster, a little bit better coaching. They've won 3 in a row, so they're hot, coming off an impressive win against San Francisco, and they're home. Put all those things together, and I'm going to take the Bengals to win this game 30-21.